Hello everyone, it's Morton here and SoccerBeat, and we are catching up. It's our Monday show, trending show. We are catching up on everything that happened in South African football over the last couple of days. I'm here with Tsepo Masilela. We've got some amazing talking points today. Obviously going to chat about the fact that we hear and we see that Saleng is back in training. They obviously have Nda back and Monnapule as well in training as well. So a lot of positives coming back, especially with Pirates getting into one of the most crazy parts of their season. They're going to be playing Wednesday, Saturday for the next 2 months, basically. So the more players they can get back into that squad, the better for them. So we'll be chatting about that. We'll also chat about Chiefs' loss again and what that means in terms of Nabi's record in comparison to other coaches. We'll be chatting about that as well. So please stick with us and we'll get right into it. But just briefly, Tips, we have to speak about, obviously, Cape Town City and SuperSport, two of our biggest clubs in the country, in a head-to-head relegation battle. They obviously drew this weekend. When you looked at the beginning of the season, would you have ever imagined that you'd see SuperSport United and Cape Town City sitting in 15th and 14th position?
Oh, Mikey, no, to be honest, I wouldn't have predicted this, especially with Cape Town City and the signings they made, beginning of the season. And it's just a surprise to see these two teams down there. And I think Cape Town City, they are more in trouble. If you look at the games played, they've played 24. They're sitting on 24 points, and SuperSport is below them. They've played 22. They have 2 games in hand. They're sitting on 22 points. But it's going to be an intense relegation battle. If you look at the next team above Cape Town City, it's Richards Bay on 24 points. Marumo, they're on 25 points. So it's going to be an intense, interesting relegation battle.
Yeah, it's crazy because obviously Galants and what's the other one? Galants and
Richards Bay.
Yeah, and Magesi are all hitting form now as well. So it's like they're all in good form, and SuperSport and Cape Town City really struggling. So it's going to be a crazy into the season here. I mean, SuperSport have never finished out of the top 8 in the PSL era, and now they're fighting relegation. I never thought I'd see the day. But on the positive side, in the NFD, we've got Durban City, former Maritzburg United, top of the league and quite clear as well. Quite likely we see them back into the league. How good is that for South African football to have them back in the league if they end up winning that first division battle?
Mikey, a former team actually, it's for me. I like they've got an 8 points lead, healthy lead. But what pains me, we don't have that Maritzburg United feel. You understand? Like let's say they get promoted. We all knew the Friday night in Maritzburg. It was the crowd and the vibe. It was electrifying. Like it was crazy. It was a game we look forward to playing. In the PSL fixture because of they adapted the Friday nights football in Maritzburg. So yes, I'm happy if they get back to the league, get promoted. But I'm also sad, they're not coming back as the Maritzburg United.
100%. Yeah, we're not going to have Friday night lights at Harry Gwala, I don't think. But it'll be good to have them back nonetheless. So now on to more pressing matters. Obviously, there's the news, and Pirates obviously released a video last week where we saw Saleng in training, and then the internet blew up, and there's a big possibility that he's back in the mix. I know, according to Soccer Ladumi, he hasn't traveled with for the Champions League fixture, so he's not fully back in the mix, but he's back in training, and we have Nda and Monnapule. And for Pirates, I mean, they're going to need their whole squad going into this final stretch in the season. How positive is it that Saleng's back in training? I mean, is this something we can look into and think it's positive? Or, I mean, we've had situations where he's come back and then disappeared again. Is this the real deal now? Is Saleng back in the mix?
With Saleng, I can only say, the real deal will be when we see him in the matchday squad. Because we've been going back and forth for too long with Saleng. We saw him go play for Bafana, the Chen, and, we played a home game away. He didn't play. You also ask yourself, what's happening with Saleng? He plays the home game in Bloemfontein. They go to Egypt. He's not there. So the real deal will be when we see him in the matchday squad. But it would be a huge boost, and obviously the players coming back from injuries, players like Nda, Monnapule. At this point of the season, Mike, you need all your soldiers. It's a squad thing. Games are coming thick and fast. You're playing different competition. You've got they competing in Africa. They still have the league. They still in the Nedbank Cup. So the coach would love to have everyone available. So yeah, it would be a big, big, big boost to have Ndai and Munyai back and the Saleng.
Oh man, yeah. So as Pirate supporters, we definitely need them back. I think it's Wednesday, Saturday for the next 2 months. So yeah, we're gonna need everyone we can get, and obviously just the boost of putting the Saleng saga behind Orlando Pirates as well, all the media attention, everything. I think once you get him back into the mix, it could do massive things for the squad and just positive headlines for a change, as opposed to us speaking about where is he and what is he doing. Tips. Then I want to move quickly onto Nabi. You being a Chiefs man, another bad weekend for Kaizer Chiefs. They lost to Arrows. I mean, the crazy thing was when I was actually looking at the Betway betting odds. Yeah, and don't forget, use your 25 Rand sign-up bonus, use the SoccerBeat code. When I was looking at the Betway odds this weekend, I mean, Arrows were favourites going into that game. I mean, you'd never have, in the history of South African football, thought that would be the case where Kaizer Chiefs were going into a game against Arrows as underdogs. And we saw Mangoba in the build-up to this game was speaking about how he can't believe the Chiefs has gotten to the point where they've just become a transition team and just a counter-attacking team, basically how the mighty have fallen. And it's just, where's Kaizer Chiefs now after that result, and where does that leave them for the rest of the season? I mean, they're now in a real fight for the top 8 position now.
Mike, to be honest, if you look at the last 5 coaches that at Kaizer Chiefs before Nabi's record is very bad, Mikey. We shouldn't lie about that. The project. I don't know if it's going or it's coming, but again, I think it's more of how do we put it, Mikey? They're in a crisis mode. If not to say they fighting relegation, but because of the expectations. When the season started and getting Nabi, getting his whole technical team, the whole pieces, around Nabi, in a couple of signings here and there. Again, in January, they made some signing, you would expect at least top 5 Kaizer Chiefs team by now. But if you look at that team, and it's not only the position they're sitting, like the also worrying factor is how they playing and how they losing these games. The past 3 games, they didn't show up. Of course, they missed chances here and there. But you miss chances and you're still conceding, we're still not sure on both ends, what they're giving us. And that also should be a worry.
I mean, when we look at these stats now, Tips, it's very hard to sugarcoat the situation. I mean, if we look at, you mentioned previous coaches at Kaizer Chiefs. So we're looking at these coaches after their first 23 games. And just to name them in order, Gavin Hunt, the bottom, with after 23 games, he had 28 points. Nabi just 29, and Nseki 30. So, I mean, 30. He's right there in the mix with guys that didn't last very long. They very quickly got shuffled on. And the big problem now is Kaizer Chiefs went all in on Nabi, giving him his whole technical team, long-term deal. They basically have committed the future of Kaizer Chiefs to him. And can they turn that around and say, look, it's not working, and then they get rid of him? Now you start from scratch. You've got no backroom staff. You've got to bring in a whole new technical team. Obviously going to cost you a lot of money to get rid of a coach now so early on in a long-term deal. I mean, what are the implications? I mean, is it even in their mind of Kaizer Chiefs that this is not working and they need to go a different direction?
I think it is. It is in their mind. It's a results-driven business, football nowadays, Mikey. And if you're doing bad, in your mind, you're thinking, wow, if we finish outside the top 8 with no trophy, what do we do? As management, you have to make decisions, and it is in their mind. I can bet you that, Mikey. Again, you have coaches like Coach Pitso that's available. You're thinking maybe I should also, if it happens, they get rid of Nabi, maybe we should go all in on Coach Pitso because he's someone that's got a proven record. We know what he's done. He knows the local game, and he's done wonders throughout his career.
Yeah.
So maybe you're thinking maybe we should risk, but it is in the management mind, and it depends also on the contract. Maybe there's certain clauses and mandates that they didn't tell or they didn't reveal which come
Yeah,
end
one
of
of
the
those where
season
if he
they
doesn't
sit.
finish in the top 8, then they can release him
Yeah,
without the heavy
yeah,
penalties and the heavy costs. I know that's often a
yeah.
clause in a lot of managers' contracts in South Africa is that top 8 finish. And I'd be very surprised if Kaizer Chiefs never put that clause in as well in terms of a performance clause.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Do you think they see out the season, or do you think in what situation do Kaizer Chiefs move quicker and pull the trigger before the end of the season?
I think they see out the season, Mikey. I think, and then that's when they'll sit down and, reflect on the past season and make big decisions. Because big decisions have to be made at Kaizer Chiefs. Be it players going or a squad overhaul or be it the coach, but they can't, sit in, when you look at the season they're having and, they're not happy.
Yeah,
Definitely the management and the board, they're not
yeah.
happy.
The problem is with Kaizer Chiefs, obviously, tips. It's not just this season. I mean, just a stat here that I want to articulate this properly. But in the first 26 PSL seasons since the inception of the PSL, Kaizer Chiefs only
Mhm.
lost 10 or more games 3 times, and in the last 3 PSL seasons, they've lost 10 or more games in every season. So in 26 years, they did it 3 times. In the last 3 years, they've done it every year. So this is not a once-off poor season. This is now the club in a pretty bad position over the last an extended period of time. And yeah, what needs to change? Is it? Can you keep pointing at coaching staff now? I mean, we're looking at now Hans, Ntseki, Zwane, Nabi. No one
Uh,
gets it right.
Coach
What's
Baxter.
this? What's yeah? What? I mean, these are good
Uh,
coaches.
yeah, definitely these are good coaches, Mike. And you look at Zwane now doing well at Amazulu, But again, it's not only also the management of Kaizer Chiefs. They need to, reflect and, have a clear, sober mind and try come up. But Mike, again, with this whole Kaizer Chiefs saga, you you keep Nabi for the next season, and if things don't go well, you drop him maybe 10 games in the season. So you need to make decisions. If are you able to take that risk going forward to next season?
Yeah.
Those are
No, I
decisions
think
that have to be
yeah.
made.
If you're watching world football now and you see the way Man United handled the Ten Hag situation, that's the last thing you want to
Hmm.
do. Is that you try to push on and give the coach another season, and then it goes wrong, and then you're making panic changes. Amarim had to come in. He doesn't have his own players. There's nothing he can do to fix the problem. If you're going to make a change, it has to be before a transfer window, before a coach can make big changes. And coaches also don't want that job once they're coming in with players that they don't necessarily like, and they can't make any changes to the squad. They haven't had a preseason, so yeah. In an ideal situation, if you do want to change, it has to be in the change of seasons.
Exactly, because coaches want to have the preseason where they can,
Yeah,
prepare the team for the season. So they don't want a hijack kind of situation. So it will be
yeah.
interesting to see how it plays out.
How would you like to win a little something extra just for joining the best in the game? For a limited time, we are teaming up with Betway and giving all of you access to a SoccerBeat exclusive. If you join Betway using the sign up code SoccerBeat, now in March, you'll get 25 Rand extra bet. That's right. It's time to get way more out of every bet. Standard T's and C's apply.
Quickly, one of the last things I want to chat to you about is just obviously the Royal AM saga is ongoing. There was very big rumors that the sale had gone through, and now it looks like it's fallen through. Um, and from what I hear, if the sale doesn't go through before the 9th of April, it's logistically
Hmm.
impossible for them to actually finish the season just in terms of the amount of games that need to be played and the amount of time we have left. So where does this leave our league? Do we just finish the league with 15 teams? I mean, even if you had to buy a Royal AM now, I mean, do we even know if they've been training? Are the players ready to? I mean, you'd literally have to start playing basically tomorrow if you bought the team. Is anyone actually going to buy the team in the current state? Yeah, it's just not a good look for our league, Tip. So, what do you make of that whole situation and the way forward for Royal AM and possible suitors of the club?
Mike, it's also confusing, as you said. We're hearing rumors it's been, bought, and next thing, no, that deal didn't go through. But again. if you buy Royal EM right now, it's a huge business, risk for whoever's gonna buy, because
Yeah,
we have the
surely you just be
club.
buying it at NFD prices because your actual chances of surviving relegation now, I think, are slim to none. So if you're
Are
paying
slim to
anything more than
none.
NFD prices, you'd be getting a bad deal, in my opinion.
A very bad though. But again, we don't know if also there's talks where time and again you hear that maybe the league will be, will have 18 teams league. So yeah, extended
Yeah,
to 18 teams. So we don't know like the talks going, behind closed doors. What's really the story? Because if you buy Royal AM now, and they're already losing players, Mikey. Richards, they got some players from them. I think Golden Arrows got some players from them. I think one went to Sekukuni. So you're already buying a team that's depleted, and it's I don't know how they're gonna manage to squeeze their schedule and make them play all these
yeah,
games, the catch up games on time before season, because we're not gonna extend the season. Surely there's Club World Cup. Sundowns needs to go to Club World Cup. They need to
yeah.
prepare for that competition. So I don't know how it's gonna play out. I don't see them playing, Mikey. I don't see them. I don't know, but we'll have to see,
Yeah.
Mikey.
Yeah, we have our guys in the background trying to run some numbers and do the maths on what the league will look like if the Royal AM points go away, and we have to do everyone who played Royal AM, they don't get their points, etc., etc. Like there's a whole bunch of maths into that. It's going to have to come into this if we remove them from the league as well, because you obviously can't grant points to the guys just that haven't played them. You have to take points away
Well,
or give points to the guys that have lost to them, etc. So it could have massive implications for our league.
massive, massive one. And you know who it favors? It favors Pirates, because Royal has played Pirates. Sorry, man, Royal has played Sundown. They have those 3 points from Royal. So let's say they take away those 3 points.
Yeah, no,
So
there's a lot that can still happen in the next couple of weeks. So we'll stay on top of it. So make sure that you keep an eye on SoccerBeat. We'll give you the latest news as it breaks. And guys, just quickly, we are on the verge of breaking 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Take us over that 30,000 mark. We are growing exponentially, and we thank you guys so much for joining us on the journey. Tips, thank you so much. It's been a great chat. Hopefully, after this week, a Chiefs win or something, we'll have more positive stuff to speak about your club. Must be a tough time for Chiefs supporters. So we're hoping for better times on the horizon.
we live by
Yeah.
hope, Mikey. Thank you.
Cool, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. And if you're signing up for SoccerBeat, for Betway, make sure you use the SoccerBeat promo code. Get your 25 Rand extra bet, and we will see you guys in the next one.
SoccerBeat, what?